one of the 2023 NFL season, and that means we get to roll the ticker. We've got point spreads, we've got real football coming up this weekend. Gentlemen, it is great to be here to talk to you about games that actually do matter. We have 272 regular season games, and we're going to start. Well, so a reminder, we record this show, and probably most of you aren't going to watch it till Friday or Saturday. That tends to be our biggest viewer day. So we're not going to talk about Thursday games. Because most of you will see this well after the Thursday game is over. We're not going to waste your time. We're going to focus on those Sunday and Monday night games. And there's plenty. There's 15 of them. We got a full slate, some great matchups. Guys, how are you on the eve of the football season?
I've never been more excited for football. We got our Nick Bosa's back.
Nick Bosa got his big fat new contract.
We'll talk about that, but I was a little concerned, but no longer concerned. All thumbs up from here.
I got a fire in me. I did not drive here. I did not take the bus. I walked here. And sure, it's because the Chicago Transit let me down, but that's also just how fired up I am for football season.
Well, I drove 7 hours through the mountains of Colorado today to get home so I could be here joining you guys. The wife and I were down in Durango, extreme southwest corner of the state, having a few days along a river in a cabin. But now I told her, we got to go back to civilization because football is starting, and I cannot be off here at some river while there are football players hitting each other. So here we are. We've got a lot to get to.
Why worry about your own life when you can worry about other people's lives?
Exactly. There are 1,700 guys on active rosters. I need to focus on those guys. 53 per team. All right. We got a busy show, so let's get right to it because we are not only going to make all of our picks for this week's show or for this week's games, we are going to make our season picks. We've got awards, we've got playoff teams, and eventually we're going to crown the Super Bowl champion. So let's go ahead and do that first before we get to this weekend's games. And we're going to start off with our awards. And there we are. Ben and I agree Patrick Mahomes is going to win a third MVP. Tommy Burch in on Lamar Jackson winning his second MVP. And I do love that plus 1,500 there for Lamar. That's a tasty figure for a guy who has already won the award once. And he's now probably got the best offense around him that he's ever had as the quarterback of the Ravens.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for Lamar Jackson. Obviously, the biggest concern is health. And we've seen, he's gotten battered up quite frequently in the last couple of seasons. But, I mean, the whole offense is better around him. He's going to get the ball out quicker. He's proven himself to be a better pocket passer. And due to more explosiveness from his receivers, he doesn't have to worry about running the ball as much. He's just going to be a very multifaceted, an incredible player this season. So I can absolutely see him winning MVP. And I also don't think the NFL or any professional league really favors two-time consecutive MVPs very much. So as much as Patrick Mahomes is very enticing to me, I think Lamar Jackson is the pick here.
Lamar's a stud, no doubt about it. But it is hard to go against Patrick Mahomes because he's going to throw for 5,000 yards. He's going to have 45 to 50 touchdowns, and the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West because they only do win the AFC West. So yeah, it's going to be a great race because there are so many great quarterbacks in the league right now. We are enjoying an embarrassment of riches. It is a great time, especially to be an AFC fan. Sorry, Tommy, I know you're stuck with your little 5-game starter Brock Purdy. Over in the AFC, we're just filled to the brim with stud quarterbacks. Defensive Player of the Year. Now, I like this. We all decided to go away from the favorites. So no Micah Parsons, no TJ Watt, no Nick Bosa. We've got 3 guys who all pay really good money. I'm curious about Matthew Judon, at plus 5,000. What does he have to do though to beat out guys like Watt and Bosa? And he's got to get 18, 19 sacks.
I mean, he's already close. These last 2 seasons have been fruitful in the sack department for him. I mean, if we're talking once he left the Ravens in 2020, he only had 6 sacks in 2020, but the second he got to the Patriots, doubled that, 12 and a half. Next season with the Patriots, 2022, 15 and a half. And now that the Patriots offense seems to be more put together and drives are going to be a little shorter, a little more explosive, the defense is going to be on the field a little bit more, I think. And if the defense is on the field a little bit more, their best defensive player is going to show out a little bit more. And if you shop that pick just a little bit, you might be able to find Judon for plus 6,000. I've seen it somewhere. And if you can, it's a very long shot. It's a dark horse, but
Yeah.
he is expected to have a great season, especially after making 33rd in the NFL top 100 this past season.
Yeah, I think my only concern about any of these three guys that we've picked is if their teams don't make the playoffs, they are very unlikely to win this award. But Ben, you know that I've been a Patrick Surtain fan since he was first, since he was drafted. I love that pick. I think, again, he's not gonna have the gaudy numbers because quarterbacks are not going to throw at him because he's too good to throw at. So his interception totals will be low, but his completions against are also going to be super low because nobody wants to test him. I'm a huge Surtain guy. He's your boy. He's your buddy there in Denver, and obviously you are a fan as well.
Like, for me, I see his key to success this year being just doing what he did last year, just shutting down a half of the field and letting the offense show its improvement. If the offense comes out and puts the opponent behind, they're going to have to start taking more shots. They're going to have to take more risks, and they're going to have to throw at him a couple more times a game. I think that those few more opportunities, maybe he finds a pick or two that he wouldn't normally see with the offense that we had last year in Denver. So, man, if they can put him behind the 8 ball, dude, this guy could really be a difference maker.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm a big Quinnen Williams fan. I think that this Jets defense is one of the best. He is such a figure on that defensive line. So yeah, I'm a huge Q fan. And then offensive rookie of the year, some excellent choices. I mean, obviously Bijan is the favorite, and I mean, we know he's going to be featured. We know the Falcons are going to feature him a lot. If Bryce Young actually, I mean, if Carolina can be competitive, and it's because of the improvement that they have at quarterback, how would you not love Bryce Young? And Tommy, kind of back to your Lamar Jackson. I really like this Ravens offense, and that's why I'm going with Zay Flowers as the rookie of the year, because I just see him being. I see that whole offense flourishing, and it really kind of cascades down onto him. Any thoughts on our three rookie choices?
I mean, for me and Bijan, I've been straying away from the favorites, and this is just one of those guys that you really have to like. There's not many other options that you can really see. It's all in the dark, right? They're rookies, but we all know there is many uncertainties in life. But one certainty is that the Falcons are going to run the ball a lot. And you know who their number one running back is? Their rookie running back, Bijan Robinson. So he's a very safe pick. Plus 275, you could put a little bit extra money down on that, especially out of safety's sake. But both of your picks could very easily make our listeners and viewers some money.
Man, Bryce Young he's gonna have to shock me because just a little behind the scenes, we sent these picks in a little bit earlier, a little bit more playoff or not playoff, sorry, the opposite actually, the preseason, a little preseason actions happen between now and then. Dude, Bryce Young's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. I. Oh my goodness! This graphic pulled up and it scared me a little bit. But yeah, like Kyle said, if you see Carolina making finding some wins this year, it's going to be because of what he can bring to this offense. And I think he can be a difference maker if he is what the Panthers think he is. So we'll find out. I don't know, man. But preseason it was kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He can certainly add an offensive rookie of the year to that. Why not fill that trophy case, Bryce? All right, our defensive rookie of the year. So yeah, Lucas Van Ness, really under the radar pick. I mean, he was the 13th overall pick. This was a guy that went very high in the draft, and really when it comes to the top edge rushers, he's not getting talked about a lot. But he's a monster, man. He's like what 6'5", 275. He's fast. He's gonna be a stud on that Packers line.
Well, what I love about him is not just, his size, which he's built to be an NFL player. And he's going to be a much bigger edge rusher than we see because as football becomes more modern, edge rushers get smaller and edge rushers turn into outside linebackers. This guy, he can play defensive line, edge rusher at an old school type of way. And he's very fundamentally sound. That's what I like about him. And I've watched a lot of Lucas Van Ness film. I thought he should have been picked a little bit higher. I thought he was probably like the second best edge rusher on the board. He is great. And his hands are always active, and that's what you can't say that a lot about some of these top guys. They're just so athletic. They get off the ball, they're already behind the line of scrimmage. He is fast enough to get behind the line of scrimmage, but he's disciplined. He gets his hands on. He stays ready. He's always, once he gets into behind the line of scrimmage, he's staying flat. He's just a very fundamental guy. He's the type of guy that as a coach you would want on your team, and he's very coachable. So I hope. I mean, what is it? Plus 1,500 money. Beautiful for this kid. I mean, he's a freak. I'm very excited for this season for him.
Well, speaking of freaks, though, I mean, the Eagles lose Javon Hargrave. It's like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Oh, we'll just draft Jalen Carter. We'll just get the best tackle available in the draft, and we'll completely reload our defensive line just like it was last year. Jalen Carter is an absolute freak, and this Eagles defensive line is going to be just as good as it was last year, and Carter's going to be a big reason for that.
It's exciting. I love the young core that they're starting to build of players in Philly. This guy could be, a leader. And what I like about his position right now is that there's a lot of other players on that line that can help pick up where, his learning curve is going to be there early on. But yeah, dude, just another product from that amazing defensive line factory at Georgia, dude. They just got some big, powerful dudes, and love this guy, man.
Yeah, and then I've gone with Jack Campbell, the rookie linebacker there with the Detroit Lions. We're all kind of hyped on Detroit. Detroit finally turning the page on their ineptitude and being a division champion, maybe making some noise in the playoffs. And the only way that's going to happen is if their defense is improved. They kind of revamped their secondary. Campbell's going to be helping there in the middle of that defense, and I like him at plus 1,400 too. I want to take a little flyer on that and see if he can't get a little love by the award voters at the end of the season.
The Campbell combination right there.
Yeah. And finally, our coach of the year. Speaking of Dan Campbell, been all over the Detroit Lions guy, while Tommy and I are all about Ben's team and the new head man there, Sean Payton.
What's about that, Ben? Your guy? You're the only one who didn't pick your guy?
This is actually shocking. I didn't want to let my bias shine through or anything, but I also had to sit there and I had to ask myself if both teams do this year what I think they could do, which coach will have the higher high? Without getting too far ahead of ourselves, man, I'm just gonna say I like the Lions this year. I like what Campbell can bring, and if they have the high highs, I think they could, dude. It should be a lock for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, it really comes down to which one of these teams outperforms its expectations. Right, and to be fair, the expectations for the Lions right now are pretty high. So, but yeah, no, it's great that that a team like Detroit is being talked about like this. I was just having this conversation with my wife, who's actually from Detroit. Of all 32 teams, you can make legitimate cases to dislike 31 of them. There's no case that you can make right now to dislike the Detroit Lions. Everything about them is likable, from the head coach on down, from the fan base, through the city. I mean, there's just something about that team that's very appealing as we head into the season. All right. From the awards to the playoffs, and we're going to start with Ben's playoff teams. Ben.
Yes, good pick.
Yeah, right.
Anything you want to? I mean, you got 3 teams from the NFC North that kind of sticks out there a little bit.
Man, I was just going through, man, and the NFC is kind of just full of a bunch of stinkers, isn't it? Just some really bad football teams over there. What's the NFC South right now? Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I do want the viewers and the listeners to know I went through every game this season on a little program online, and I picked the winner for all of them. And there was a 3-way tie for the lead in both conferences when I got done. I don't know what happened there, but I think the 2 teams here that I really want to focus my energy on is the Jags and the Lions. I think that both of these teams are going to make major steps up this year. I think that they're both playing in divisions that are pretty favorable scheduling wise, that you can find some wins in. I don't think that the Chiefs are necessarily going to be a worse team. I think the West is going to be a little bit more competitive. I hope so anyway. I hope that the Broncos can start to find a game off the Chiefs. I hope the Chargers can start, maybe find some wins too. And then for the NFC North, I feel like the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions, man, it's really open. It's really open over there. And I think it's going to be a fun division to watch play out.
Yeah, for those of you who are only listening and do not see the screen,
I'm so sorry.
The Lions, Vikings, and Bears are making the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys are not making the playoffs. The Bears are going to finish with a better record than the Dallas Cowboys, according to Ben O'Connell. He has the Bears as our 7th seed. The 2 1 seeds, the Cincinnati Bengals, the 1 seed in the AFC, and the San Francisco 49ers, the 1 seed in the NFC. Tommy, your playoff teams.
A lot more streamlined, I think. I guess a lot more safer. A lot safer picks. I think Ben was taking shots, and I love his shots. Some of them are great. And as a Niners fan, I would love to say that the Niners would be number 1, but all of the holes that the Eagles created were filled during the draft or in the offseason. So I doubt that. I mean, I doubt they're going to go have the record they had last year. But I also doubt that they're going to be any less productive and any less exciting than they were last year. I still think, even as much as the AFC West might be more competitive, I still think the Chiefs are going to be number 1. I mean, they've consistently been the best team in football. It's hard to doubt them, especially after beating Philly, which was the powerhouse team last year in the Super Bowl. It's really hard to root against them, But I still have the Bills at 2. I mean, they're still a very well-rounded team. I still this is my last year for the Bills. Riding this Bills high, this is the time. They need to win now. They need to have playoff success now. And if they don't, it's time to say goodbye to a lot of Bills' hope. But I still think the Bengals are going to be incredible. I just think they're going to start off the season a little bit slow, especially due to the concerns with Joe Burrow. A couple early losses in the regular season can definitely hurt. But I think that the Jets are going to be, because the AFC East is quite possibly the best division, in football. And I love the Jets. I do. I really do. And I think that as much as the hype is building and building, and there's a lot of people that think they're overrated, I think they're just, a good 5 seed below the Bills, but in the playoffs, perfect for them. And then I think the Broncos and oh yeah, you bumped them down for me. I forgot, because the Saints. Yeah, the Saints at 4 has to happen. But I like Seattle still making the playoffs this year. I think Geno Smith repeats, and he has another good season, I don't think the Lions are going to go and be like a top 3 or 4 seed, but a wild card team is in their future. But yeah, I think that's just about it.
All right, and my picks, I've got the Chiefs also as the top seed in the AFC, 49ers as the top seed in the NFC. I've got the Cowboys winning the NFC East, Eagles getting in as a wild card. Uh, Baltimore Ravens are going to win the AFC North. Bengals will still get in as a wild card. And then we're going to have 2 teams from the AFC East, the Bills and the Jets. I've got Detroit winning the division, but they're going to be the last of the seeds. And um, the Saints are going to have a pretty decent record because they're just going to beat up on the terrible division they're in. And my fun pick is the Washington Commanders sneaking in as the 7th seed in the NFC. And if you remember, they were almost in last year. They were in the hunt there till the very end, and they just lost out to the Giants by a game. I think that you get some healthy pass rushers on that defense. Keep them on the field together. That's one thing that they've struggled with. And I'm a Sam Howell believer. If he's good enough for Terry McLaurin, he's good enough for me. So I like the Commanders sneaking in there as the last seed. They won't go very far in the playoff, but I do like them as a taking a step forward. All right, Super Bowl. Ben, we're going to start off with your Super Bowl pick.
Wow.
Let's go.
Chiefs beating the Detroit Lions 35-21. Detroit finally makes it to a Super Bowl, and they lose.
What
Well,
can you say?
this is historical because what do we have? Of the last 17 quarterbacks to lose their Super Bowl debut, they have never gone back to win. So Jared Goff, he lost his Super Bowl debut when he was a Ram. So if history were to hold, he will not win a Super Bowl. So this fits with that history there. But yeah, the Chiefs, this would be their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years if they win this. So hey, I like it.
I
I
just
don't
want
know about you,
everyone to
Tommy.
know. I just want everyone to know in this world, like the whole nation is like painting themselves blue and silver. Like this is the craziest playoff run, and every American outside of Missouri and Kansas are excited for it. All right, like this. Come on now, come on. You want to believe? You want to believe, Tommy? I know you do.
I
Hey,
want to believe so bad.
I want to believe so bad too, but let's not forget that they have not won a playoff game since 1992, and now
That's
you've
what's
got
gonna
them
make it
winning
awesome,
3
Kyle.
playoff games to get to the Super Bowl.
God, but
So, all right,
they don't win. Oh, come on, I'm being realistic, right? Come on, right? Like
all right, Tommy, your Super Bowl pick, the
I
Buffalo
told you this is
Bills.
my last year riding this Bills high. I think that they finally get it done after all of the sadness and disappointment. And I know people say it every year, and I'm just a broken record. I mean, I haven't been this high on Buffalo ever. I don't think I may have said that they are a favorite to win the Super Bowl, but I have never picked them to win it all, as far as I know. Don't pull up my records on that. I might be wrong. But come on. This is I think the Niners, I'm not, I might be biased on this, but they are obviously one of the best teams in the NFC, and their defense is their strongest point. And that defense is going to bring them, even if we have issues at quarterback, to the postseason, deep in the postseason, and they should make the Super Bowl as they could have last year, barring injury. However, I think the Bills finally find playoff success, and I think if they do win the Super Bowl, this is the only Super Bowl they win. I think they finally find that success. They have their ride. They get to the big game. They win it all, and just that's it. You know, we don't see any more Bills success for a while, but all these Bills fans are gonna Bills Mafia is gonna ride on this ring for the next 40 years. But I'm I'm gonna say it. This is the last time I'm ever gonna say it, unless they actually go ahead and do it. Bills winning it all. I think it's going to be a close game because both teams are very skilled. I think that the Niners defense can hold them. Just I don't know if they'll be able to hold them that much, especially if Buffalo gets this far.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on whether or not Von Miller can actually come back and play this year.
I heard today he was feeling pretty good.
Well, but he's beginning on the PUP list. We know he's not going to play until at least week 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's this is the second ACL. He's what is he now? 33, 34. I don't know. Look, I like Von Miller is one of my most favorite players ever. I would love it if he could come back and look even just like half of Von Miller. But I am concerned if not this Bills pass rush if he's not there. And the Bills offensive line has to figure some things out here over the course of the season. But look, they still got Josh Allen. And when you got Josh Allen, you can put up points and you can win playoff games. So
But can you get to the Super Bowl with Josh Allen? I mean, like we've also seen him crumble in the playoffs too.
we have, but
lose his team some games. You know.
But he lost to the Chiefs because of 13 seconds, and he was spectacular in that game. It was his stupid coaches and a bad defense, and just an absolutely idiotic special teams play by the Bills that cost Allen that opportunity to play the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. So I don't know. I mean, I like the Bills. I think the Bills are a good team. So yeah, I can see this happening.
Play this clip back when I'm wrong. Josh Allen will retire without a single Super Bowl ring. I promise you. This guy.
What if he wins it as a backup as some bum at 41 years old?
Yeah, dude, I could see that, man. It's the only dude, I just don't think that he's clutch enough to win you a
David
Super Bowl.
Carr has a Super Bowl ring, so it's
Yeah. Okay. He will never be the starting quarterback of a Super Bowl winning team. Like the through the whole season. I don't know. Maybe someone gets injured at the last second. But I just don't think this dude's clutch enough. I just don't. I don't know. Prove me wrong,
okay.
Josh.
Jacoby Brissett has a Super Bowl ring.
All right. My pick for the Super Bowl is Chiefs over the 49ers. So the Chiefs beat the 49ers a few years back, 31-20. I think the 49ers make it a little closer this time, and it's only 31-21.
Thank you. Thank you for that little morsel you're giving me.
So in another 14 years, the 49ers could actually win this game.
He said, I think they'll play better. He gave him a point.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, Tommy, I know you're hurt right now. I know you are hurt, especially because there's nothing that you can say back to that because the Chiefs are the better team.
What am I supposed to say? I'm stuck. Am I supposed to lie? I am an honest reporter and honest individual.
Now, you've got Nick Bosa ready to go. The Chiefs don't have Chris Jones ready to go, so you've got that over me right now. So, all right, those are our picks for the season. But let's get to our picks for this weekend. Although, in order to do that, we have to play a game. We are going to play a game to see which of my two co-panelists here will present his picks first, and then at the end of the show, we pick our favorite, our top underdog, and our easy money line win. You get first crack if you win this game. Okay, these are all quiz questions that you guys know. They're all from your era of football. Okay, I didn't go back. There's nothing from 1900. You don't have to know about you don't have to know about the Canton Bulldogs and what they did. So okay, we're gonna start here. Let's go ahead and start with you, Tommy. Okay, you get the first question. Okay, the Chiefs are the preseason favorite to win the Super Bowl. Who was the last preseason favorite to actually win the Super Bowl?
The Chiefs.
Final answer?
Yes.
No. The last team, the last favorite to win the Super Bowl was the New England Patriots in 2018.
So you're telling me they were not the favorite to win the Super Bowl last year?
They were not. The Buffalo Bills actually had.
Oh, come on, dude! What? This comes back to bite me right after I make this pick.
Josh Allen sucks.
I hate football. I hate football.
Yeah. So the New England Patriots in 2018 were the last preseason favorite to actually win the Super Bowl. Okay, Ben, to you.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes is one of 5 quarterbacks in history with multiple MVPs and multiple Super Bowl wins. Name 3 of the other 4.
3 of the other 4. Brady.
That is 1.
It's multiple MVPs and multiple Super Bowls.
Super Bowl wins, yes.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is 1. You just need one more.
Oh my goodness. I said Tom Brady. I said Peyton Manning. Who else has won multiple Super Bowls? Why am I just blanking on this? Oh, Mahomes. Oh wait.
Mahomes,
That was
Mahomes is he's
that's
named
that's
3 of
who
the
I'm
other
supposed
4.
to.
Yeah.
The other 3.
Yeah.
Multiple Super. Maybe this is
I
too
feel
far
like
back.
Tommy might.
Would it
I
be
feel like
Favre?
Tommy might. It is not Brett Favre. He only won
I know
one
exactly.
Super Bowl.
This is like if you
Brett
Oh,
Favre
that
won
is
multiple
rough.
MVPs, but he did not win multiple Super Bowls.
Dang, that's rough.
Tommy Burch, you want
is
to
it
help your
is
colleague?
it,
You help him out.
is it Joe Montana?
Joe Montana is indeed one of them.
Shoot.
The other is Johnny Unitas. But yes, Joe Montana.
That's a
he
nice
would
one
have
right there.
accepted.
Colts
Okay.
legend Johnny Unitas.
All right. So after one question each, we are 0-0. Okay. This one is to you, Tommy. 3 of the top 4 picks were quarterbacks in this draft. Who was the last first-round rookie quarterback to win a playoff game? Obviously, we know that a 7th-round rookie quarterback won a playoff game last year. Who was the last first-round rookie quarterback to win?
I have to go back in my brain. Wait, that might be too long ago. But is it Marcus Mariota?
It is not Marcus Mariota.
Oh. Is this Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, it's more recent than that. I'm sorry. I gotta.
No. It is Mark Sanchez.
What?
Mark Sanchez was a rookie when he won a playoff game. He
Oh,
was a first-round
when
rookie.
they won a playoff game.
Dude, that
Yes.
I just misunderstood the question.
First-round rookie quarterback to win a playoff game. Mark Sanchez was the last time it happened.
Wasn't that
Alright.
when they beat the Patriots in the
2009. They were in the AFC Championship game.
yeah,
dope.
crazy
All right.
crazy stuff.
Ben, to you. Joe Burrow has 5 playoff wins in the first 3 years of his NFL career. He is only the 3rd quarterback in history to win 5 playoff games so quickly. Name one of the other 2.
Oh man.
At least 5 playoff wins in their first 3 years in the league.
First 3 years.
2 other guys. You know both of them. I don't know if personally, but you know them.
Is it Elway?
It is not John Elway. The Broncos were god awful in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
That was the
I
opposite direction. He
remember
was probably
that.
he was in the end of his career when he started getting his playoff wins.
Dude, it's not Mahomes, is it?
The 2 are Ben Roethlisberger and Russell Wilson.
Oh shoot.
Ben Roethlisberger and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, dude, I was not
Okay.
gonna get those.
Tommy, this is to you.
I got a good feeling about this one.
Through 3 seasons, Justin Jefferson has 24 100-yard receiving games. That is an NFL record. Whose record did he break?
Oh, that's tough. So ask the question one more time so I can get all the details.
He has 24 100-yard receiving games in his first 3 years, which is an NFL record. The old record was 23, held by this man.
Wasn't it his former Viking Randy Moss?
It was indeed Randy Moss. Yes, that is correct.
Huge.
Tommy gets a point. We are
Sweet.
no
I told
longer
you I had a good feeling
stumped
about
on the
that one.
board. All right,
Huge.
excellent. All right. Ben, this is to you. The 49ers haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2014, the longest active streak in the NFL. Who was that 1,000-yard rusher in 2014?
This is BS. Should have given me this question.
That's why I did not give it to you.
Was that Frank Gore?
It was indeed Frank Gore, yes.
I didn't want you to hit that. Why did you get that?
Ah!
We're down to the wire here.
All
man.
right. All right. We have one question each.
Time to lock in.
Okay, Tommy, this is to you. The Jets haven't had a 4,000-yard passer since Joe Namath in 1967, but that is only the second longest active drought in football. Which team has the longest drought of a non-4,000-yard passer?
Well, this team has never had a 4,000-yard passer, and that's the Chicago Bears.
It is indeed the Chicago Bears. In 103 years
me
of football,
some.
they have never had a 4,000-yard passer. All right, Ben, you
It's
must.
amazing.
Otherwise, if you got to get this, okay?
All right, here we go.
No one has repeated as division champion in the NFC East in 18 years. Who was that last repeat champion?
Giants?
It was not the New York Giants. It was the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Andy Reid.
Let's go.
So
Let's
Tommy
go.
Burch wins our game, and Tommy then will get his first crack at his picks. Well done, Tommy. Let me get my stats up here so we can start going through your picks. You get the big window. How about we'll move you to the big window, and we'll just sit here and watch you present. All right, your first game, Arizona Cardinals at Washington Commanders.
Oh yeah, Arizona at Washington. So this is the initial problem is that our options at quarterback for the Cardinals are slim. And as much as I love Joshua Dobbs, big fan of the guy, as much of a fan as you can be of Joshua Dobbs, it's Joshua Dobbs versus Sam Howell. And I'm picking Sam Howell every time. That Washington team is a much more well-rounded now that front office is swiped clean of its nastiness. We have a competent organization that has competent coaching, and Eric Bieniemy, I'm a fan. I think this offense is going to flourish under his reign. I think that Washington is going to be a surprisingly good team this year. I don't know about Kyle's prediction earlier of them making the playoffs, but I do think they're going to be great, and they are significantly better than Arizona. So -7 seems just like light work to me.
Well, they got studs. I mean, if Chase Young can be healthy, Jonathan Allen is obviously an absolute stud. Terry McLaurin's got a turf toe right now, but he's going to be back after a week or two. I really love Brian Robinson. Last year, Brian Robinson began the year as a gunshot victim. Now he's going to be a fully healthy Brian Robinson, and he was great last year. He's going to be a stud this year. And the Cardinals are not worth talking about. So go Commanders.
I think that Washington sneakily has one of the best receiving rooms in the NFL. I mean, even without Terry McLaurin, you're talking about Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson. Those are two more than serviceable receivers, and I think that fantasy owners are not going to be unhappy with either of those guys popping off in a flex position this week.
Starting to sound like a playoff team to me, if the way you're selling it.
All right, all right. Let's calm down.
Ben, you have any thoughts on this game?
Man, I don't know. Can we really sleep on the Cardinals? They got some fire in their gut or something. I don't know. Like a solid fifth of that room drove to work that day. And none of them took the bus. They seem like an impressive organization, if you ask me. Nah, man. If I'm a Washington fan, I'm thankful that this is the week 1 matchup because my team finally can't let me down in the week 1 opener. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win. All right. So. Yeah,
it's been,
no respect.
What did I see? So it's been since the 1980s since the same team had the first and second overall picks in the draft. The Cardinals own the Houston Texans pick from their trade with them when the Texans moved up to grab to Will Anderson. It's conceivable that the Cardinals could have the first and second picks in the draft next year.
Wow.
Maybe they draft maybe they get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. How would that help those two as a twosome to get?
Well, it's also
grab.
the Cardinals, so they're probably going to go.
Yeah, they'll probably draft somebody idiot.
That guy from Duke at quarterback and some dude from Eastern Illinois at receiver.
They'll draft a guard or something like that.
I think it's just a telling sign when there hasn't been a snap of regular season football, and we're already speculating about what the Cards could do with the first and second pick next year.
Yeah.
No, it's
Listen,
not what
none
the
of us.
Cards could do. It's like how the Cards could mess up.
Yeah. In fact,
Listen,
we've
we got
spoken
no
about the Arizona
respect on them.
Cardinals more than we should. The Cardinals
Yeah.
don't deserve this much airtime.
Forget them.
Let's move on to the Battle of Ohio. This is going to be a fun game, and Tommy Burch taking the Browns to cover.
Yeah, so I understand that this is a very, controversial pick, seeing as I know it's only
The
2.5.
The
but
Browns have beaten them straight up 5 of the last 6 times.
that's the thing. So historically, the Browns have consistently beat this team, and we're getting a full offseason out of that piece of blank quarterback. And as much as he is a piece of blank off the field, he has not been too much of a piece of blank on the field. Last season, we didn't get a full offseason of him. I mean, the offense is going to be much more well-rounded, hopefully. I mean, I talked about that in our what was it? The talk your shit segment. I
Yeah.
talked about how I am mad at the Cleveland Browns, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for game one, especially when the Bengals, like I was talking about how the Bengals might start off slow. And, Joe Burrow is coming off of a calf injury, and that can significantly prohibit mobility. And I think that that's going to be very difficult, especially against Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett. So we're going to see a great defensive line. It's going to be a tough game, but I really actually think that Cleveland might come out on top here.
Well, Cleveland's offensive line is one of the best. I mean, they've got the 2 best guards in football, in Teller and Batonio. I mean, their wide receiver room is very good as well. And last year, Joe Burrow missed all of preseason because of an appendectomy. This year, he misses all of preseason because of that calf injury. The Bengals got off to a slow start last year. They lost their first game. They were 1-2. Then they were 2-3. I could actually easily see them get off to another slow start because of Burrow's absence, and starting on the road against a team that desperately wants to beat them, against a fan base that hates them. I like this pick. I like the Browns to win this game.
Yeah, it's a close matchup. It's a close rivalry, and yeah, dude, the Browns know that no one likes them. No one likes them, especially because of their quarterback. And you know what? Like, take that aside, you can't deny what that will do for a team, especially going into a season against a high emotional opponent. Do I like it? Do I agree with it? Nah, but I definitely could see this being a really good game. I like the 2.5 pick for the Browns.
All right. Tennessee Titans at the New Orleans Saints. Saints
yeah.
covering the 3.5 point spread.
I mean, there's not really much for me to say here. The Titans suck. And until they get that quarterback situation figured out, which they're not going to, I mean, Ryan Tannehill has been mid. Will Levis looked okay. I mean, Malik Willis is Malik Willis. I mean, we're just looking at a team that's struggling to find an identity. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you sign a DeAndre Hopkins or you sign a good defensive player. Like, none of that matters. If you don't have any, we don't know who the Titans are. We don't know what they're capable of. We don't know anything. And that scares me. I'm scared for them, and I'm scared for the players. And New Orleans has found an identity, and that team is looking pretty good, dare I say. -3.5 seems like an easy hit for me.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Thomas may not be healthy in a month, but he's healthy right now. You line him up against across from Chris Olave, and you've now got an actual quarterback. And yeah, I know Derek Carr's got his warts, but it's a much better quarterback situation than what they've had in the last couple of years. Yeah, I could see the Saints. I could see the Saints rolling in this game. Win by 10 to 14 points.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I take 3.5 against the Titans. Any team basically in the NFL. I think there's like a handful of teams I wouldn't take this spread against the Titans. That's how little I think of this Tennessee team. I think it's just a matter of time before their lines are starting to get much larger. So, yeah, I'd take the Saints at 3.5 here.
And Tommy, your prop of the week comes from this game. You are the double touchdowns there for Derrick Henry and Chris Olave, plus 330. I like that. That's nice. That's a nice little payout.
It's sweet, especially seeing as the Titans secondary is inconsistent at best, and with Derek Carr at quarterback, it's you don't have film on the guy, right? I mean, you have film with him in a different system. You plop him in the Saints system. There's a lot of potential there, and if with Michael Thomas healthy, there's going to be a lot of room for Chris Olave to get the ball in the end zone. And Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry, right? Derrick Henry was probably minus 200, minus 150 to get in the end zone on his own. So that feels just like a really safe pick. But if you tack that on to Chris Olave, you're getting plus 330 money. That seems like the safest plus 330 you could possibly find.
Yeah, I'm jumping on that. All right. At Mile High Stadium, the Las Vegas Raiders getting 4 points, and Tommy Burch has them covering the spread.
Hear me out, Ben. The Broncos are going to win. All right? That's just hear me out for a second. Las Vegas stinks. All right? Las Vegas does stink. But we're always unsure of what Las Vegas is going to do at the start of a season. Because they're very just firecracker, like every once in a while they pop off and do something. At the beginning of the season, I've always been a big fan of, good starting quarterbacks going in there in a new system. I mean, he's played with Josh McDaniels a lot. There's a lot of potential for offensive talent there. I mean, they still got Josh Jacobs, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he signed his contract. He's going to be there. They have a decent receiving core. I think they could be good on offense, but obviously coaching is the biggest concern here. I think that Denver wins, but I think it's by a field goal. It's week 1, and Denver just got a new head coach. You got to start there's time. It takes time to get into a groove of things, and I think that once they start molding together, these regular season games start to hit, Denver's going to start pulling these games away. I think when they play the Raiders down the line, it's going to be a whole different thing. I'd pick the Broncos -6 here, but it's week 1. Week 1, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm rocking with the Raiders at +4.
The Broncos lost 11 games last year. You don't have to defend this much. They were a bad football team. And last year, somebody predicted the Broncos opponent to cover the point spread, and that person got pilloried. And it turned out that not only did the Broncos opponent cover that spread in week 1 last year, they beat the Broncos outright. And that person got a chance to feed the little crow to both of you guys in week 2. Remember that?
No, I don't.
I actually have no idea.
We only think forward. This is you leave it. Yes, leave the past in the past. Come on, Kyle. What are we doing? Listen. I understand what you're saying about how this is a new system. We got a new coach and all that stuff. But listen, week 1, this team is going to be more organized than the team was the last week with Hackett last season. All right? Sean Payton just knows how to at least put the play in, right? Hackett was getting the play in with 15 seconds on the play clock, right? It's just small procedural things that are going to give the Broncos a better shot this year. Now, here's the thing, right? The offense is just going to be outright explosive. And now I know I may have said this a year ago, but this time I really mean it. This is the awakening of the Broncos' new reign on the AFC West. All right, this is it. This is our great takeover, and it starts one team at a time with the Las Vegas Raiders. Broncos win this one by 7. By 7. You guys ready?
The Broncos, we don't know what the Broncos are going to do. We don't know what the Raiders are going to do. But in the wise words of Master Oogway, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Broncos by 10.
Okay. I actually my prop of the week comes from this game, and I think Ben you'll like this. I am rolling with Samaje
Oh,
Perine. 2 touchdowns. He gets in the end
oh,
zone twice, plus 1,200.
I don't
And
know about
this
that.
guy has a nose for the end zone, and the Raiders defense is hot garbage. They're going to give up multiple touchdowns.
1,200 is wild.
Sean Payton is going to want to make Russell Wilson's life in the red zone easy, and one way to do that, give it to the guy who scores touchdowns, Samaje Perine. 2
that's fair.
touchdowns plus 1,200. I'm rolling with that. That's my prop of the week.
I'm a fan.
You know, that 2 of the 7 they scored that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Jeez,
absolutely.
wow, you're really confident in your guys now, huh?
All right, your last game, Tommy. Rams at Seahawks.
This is just like a cakewalk to me. I don't know why this game isn't spread more. I mean, we're talking about an established team that only got better in the offseason. And then the Rams, who didn't something come out today that Cooper Kupp isn't playing week 1, or is that just?
Cooper Kupp is not playing in week 1. That is
I mean,
correct. He is
geez,
out
what
for
are we
week
even
1.
talking about here? Matthew Stafford hasn't played in forever. This team is mediocre. I would even border it on bad. I'm bordering on right after the Arizona Cardinals at 31. This team doesn't look good. And the Seahawks do. And that's just the plain and simple eye test that we're getting here. -5.5 could be much more. I'm rocking with Seattle here.
Well, that secondary for the Seahawks, they had Tariq Woolen last year. Devin Witherspoon's been added this year. Who are they not going to be able to cover of that collection of old terrible Rams wide receivers? No one's going to be open. There's nobody going to be open. So, and that offensive line is terrible. So nobody's going to be open. Stafford has to hold the ball and he gets sacked. It's Seahawks in a rout.
I'm trying to look who their number 1 receiver is right now without Cooper Kupp. Oh, it's Van Jefferson and then Tutu Atwell. Oh, yeah, they still got Ben Skowronek and Demarcus Robinson, right? Or is Demarcus Robinson gone?
If Demarcus Robinson is there, he is not an addition. So
that's so sad. This is just sad. And like their running back room, I haven't even talked about their running back room. Cam Akers is the number 1, but Kyron Williams number 2. Like this offense is just sad.
It is. All right. Thank you, Tommy. Those are your 5 picks. Ben is going to come up next, and we're going to start off with your first game. And it's your rookie. It's your Bryce Young. It's your rookie of the year. Getting his first start against the Atlanta Falcons.
Not only is he going to be getting his first professional start, he's going to have a welcome to the NFL moment. It is going to be fast. It's going to be brutal. And it's going to be something that Desmond Ritter's experienced before. And I think that at the end of the day, early on, a quarterback isn't all 11 guys on the field. But hey, he's a pretty darn important one. And we've seen teams the Panthers last year, when you just have shaky quarterback situations, it just isn't great for your team. I have all the confidence, that Bryce Young could turn out to be great. I just don't think it's going to be a great first start for him. I have the Falcons winning in somewhat dominant fashion, and I have them covering 3.5 points.
Well, I think if you look at the skill positions, the Falcons have Drake London, they have Kyle Pitts back, they have Bijan, Tyler Algiers. And they have an excellent defense. The Panthers have some good pieces, but Brian Burns right now, he's missed practice the last couple of days because he wants a contract. He's not necessarily saying he's not going to play on Sunday, but it's a rookie quarterback. There's going to be a lot of growing pains. The Falcons they run an offense that minimizes the weaknesses of their young quarterback. So yeah, I like the Falcons, and I like Koo. Koo's my fantasy kicker. I'm looking for a big day out of him. Tommy, we've lost your sound.
Sorry, I was muted. I apologize. I was trying to didn't want to cut in on a bet or anything. But so I think with week 1, everything being inconsistent, nobody knowing what's going to happen. I think the most consistent piece in a game of football is the run game. And at the start of the season, having a powerful run game is going to start you off strong. I think Atlanta is going to start well, not just at the Panthers, but in the next 4 games, I think they're going to play well, just because they have those pieces and they are consistent. And running the ball is just it's the most consistent play in football, is handing the ball off. The least amount of turnovers that can possibly be achieved. So yeah, I'm all for Atlanta -3.5.
All right, Ben, speaking of top running games, how about those Indianapolis Colts? Who the hell is going to run the ball for them on Sunday? Who do they have?
They
Does
got
any-
a hope and a prayer, right? They,
I feel like that. I feel like the prayer is a futile one at this point. I think they are.
man. It feels like something that the Colts fans are used to, right? After last season, right? They haven't stopped their continual prayers. Listen, this is what I think is going to be a breakout year for this Jags team, and I think it starts week 1. I think it starts early. I think that they just absolutely blast off and just take it to the Colts, man, in an important game, and a nice win over a division opponent. I I also love the aspect of Calvin Ridley being added to the mix. After what we saw from this offense last year, you gotta love a dude that bets on himself, right? Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, he's gonna be taking those opportunities that no one else will. This is it, man. This is it. I think this is gonna be a fun year. We saw what Trevor Lawrence can do with a coach. Having just more time with an actual coach. I think this team is about to just really take off. The young core is going to be ready to ball out week 1. And in fact, my prop even coincides with this game here. I got Trevor Lawrence's longest completion over 35.5 yards. That's it's paying -115. But you know what, dude? I just don't see a world where he doesn't just get a couple, just bombs. Like, this is going to be a great game. I'm really just excited to see the identity of this young, upstart Jags team.
I mean, this prop could easily hit if he just, I mean, it's all about the skills too. 35.5 isn't air yards. He could throw a dink and dunk crossing route to Zay Jones, and he just hits it upfield and finds his stride. I mean, that's a beautiful pick right there.
Yeah, no, I like that prop. I like the Jags. Another rookie quarterback here who's going to really struggle early on, especially now that you've taken away his best offensive teammate in Jonathan Taylor. So you got Anthony Richardson out there all by himself. He's got 13 career college starts. Start number 14 is going to be against the team that won in the playoffs last year. It came back from 27 points down in the playoffs. A team that is coached by a guy who won a Super Bowl, and against a true number 1 overall pick in Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I just all the signs point to the Colts not getting off to a very good start. Jim Irsay, an idiot of an owner, and he just continues to make head scratching decisions. All right.
We do got to give Anthony Richardson a little bit of props, though, for a guy who hasn't played and for a guy who doesn't have that experience. He is making waves in the locker room, and I'm all for a guy who's like a stand-up player.
Yeah, I'm pro Richardson for sure. I want him to do well, and you can see that. I mean, the athletic ability that he possesses is incredible, and he doesn't hold himself like a guy who's inexperienced. He walks onto the field in command. So I do like the trajectory that he's going to have. It's just unfortunate for him that the Colts ownership decided to play Mickey Mouse with the rest of his offense all summer long, and start him off, with one hand behind his back already. It's just dumb.
I feel like as a group we are pro Anthony Richardson, anti organization.
And not even just the owner, just the owner. I mean, I don't mind Chris Ballard as a GM. He's fine. But yeah, Irsay is an idiot. All
He had
right.
a great spot on the Manning cast auditions, dude. Like, how could you not love him, dude? He's still lifting, he said.
All right. This is going to be a great game. I'm excited to see it. San Francisco
Amen.
49ers at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Amen.
Unlike my co-host here, Tommy Burch, I have belief in all three of our favorite teams, and I picked the San Francisco 49ers to cover a 2.5 point spread against at the Steelers. Listen, I I can't bet against this defense. I love this defense, man. This is
Attaboy.
as a Denver Broncos fan, man. I gotta just take my hat off to any just dominating defense that can create that team identity, especially in the modern game, right? In a game that is so offense focused and centric, the fact that this 49ers team is just still playing just beat you up football, man, running it up your gut, dude, just doing whatever. I love it. And man, I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love Coach Tomlin. I love he gets his team excited and amped to play too. Uh, but man, I just can't bet against this 49ers team, man, especially after watching what they can do, regardless apparently with who's snapping taking snaps. So I'm gonna take the 49ers on this one to cover a 2.5 point spread.
Time to knock ourselves out. Let's tell us about the 49ers.
See, I'm not gonna like toot my team's horn too much, but I'm obviously pro Niners here. I mean, Pittsburgh. I'm gonna give Pittsburgh a little bit of credit. I'm riding the Pittsburgh Steelers train this season. I think they have a lot of potential to be good. However, it's really hard, just as a football fan, to watch the 49ers defense in action and see that chemistry they have on offense. It's not even like they have a lot of skill guys on offense. And, Brock Purdy, he didn't play too much, but he proved himself when he had to. The chemistry is there. And that's what I'm really all about. Like the connection between the receivers, tight ends, linemen, and quarterback and running back, all of them, that unit is just intertwined. And I'm a huge fan of it. I think that culture is one of the biggest reasons for success in football. And I think 49ers have some of the best culture in the game. So it's hard to bet against them.
Well, I think that Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, and George Kittle are the best running back, wide receiver, tight end trio in football. And so because of that, Purdy doesn't have to be spectacular. He just has to be decent. And Kyle Shanahan puts together an offense that is really good. He takes advantage of the players that he has, the skills that they have. And I'm going to pump the brakes on the Steelers. Great. They had some really nice offensive drives in the preseason against defenses that weren't showing them anything, against a number of players who are no longer employed in the NFL. Good for you, Pittsburgh. Maybe you'll be very good. I'm a big George Pickens fan. I think Kenny Pickett is going to be better. Obviously, TJ Watt is one of the true superstars in football. Minka Fitzpatrick is great on the back end for the Steelers defense. But I think the Steelers are a fourth place team this year. And that's just, and I think that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. So it's 49ers. Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an absolutely exciting one. This is actually my pick for game of the week. I think this could be just an absolutely fun game. I feel like we saw this matchup last year. I could be completely mistaken on this, but it just I like both quarterbacks. I like both offenses for the most part. Not huge on Staley, not huge on the LAC coaching staff over there. Uh, but you know who I am big on? I'm big on that vaping hipster that's in charge of the Miami Dolphins over there, dude. That guy, he's fun, man. He's a fun dude. I I like the Dolphins, man. I think that this line is awfully close. Like I think that it probably is a 3 point game. Right on that button there. So uh, I don't know, man. I like the Dolphins to upset. I'm just gonna say, yeah, I like the Dolphins to win this one outright. Also, like, dude? Does LAC even have fans? Like, come on. So, what's the home field advantage?
No, the McDaniel minus the S is the good of the coach. He's the good of the coaches for the McDaniel. The guy with the S garbage, but the guy without the S I like a lot. Also had a fun little run in the Manning cast video. Yale guy. It does not look. Looks like he should be like putting on your braces as opposed to coaching your football team. But and
That's
right
so
now
rare.
the Dolphins are going to go into this football game healthy. Tua's healthy. Jalen Waddle has had his little abdominal thing, and it's possible he could re-injure that in the game, but he's going to go. And the Dolphins have like 5 different guys who can all run the football. It's the 49ers offense that McDaniel has taken to Miami, and I think that there's a hangover dropping a 27-point lead in the playoffs. This is their first time back out since then. I think there's a bit of a hangover, and we saw Staley. So Staley, misses on a couple of his fourth downs, and immediately he starts changing how he's going to coach. And I think he's going to change how he coaches because he's a bit of he doesn't have. I don't feel like he's got like a real set philosophy. I think he kind of sees which way the wind is blowing, and then he'll coach based on that. I think that we're going to see a different Staley coaching this year because of what happened in the playoffs, and I don't think that's going to be a good thing for the Chargers. I know we're all the rage. Kellen Moore is going to be there, and they're going to go deep. Great. They'll complete some passes. Herbert's got a rocket for an arm, but I do like the Dolphins to make this a very close game.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't know if the viewers noticed as well, but I did not have the Chargers making the playoffs this year in my playoff predictions. And that is because as long as Brandon Staley is the head coach of that organization, I do not trust them at all. Not even a little bit. And despite who's running the offense as the offensive coordinator, Staley has that overarching, control, and whatever Staley says goes for a lot of, and that's how it goes for a lot of head coaches. And I do not trust the Chargers offense to make much improvements this year, despite what they have done to try and fix the offense. The problem is Brandon Staley, and that problem will lead to a 500 or sub 500 season.
It's a shame too, because that depth chart and that roster
Oh
it's
my
awesome.
goodness.
It's an embarrassment of riches, and it's going to be one of the most sought after coaching openings at the end of this year. Let me tell you what, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, they've already got their quarterback. Who wouldn't want to coach Justin Herbert?
Calling it now, Eric Bieniemy.
Wild.
Hey,
Wild.
after the Commanders make the playoffs this year because of Bieniemy, absolutely he becomes the head coach. And why not hire the guy who knows Andy Reid as well as anybody, since that's the team you're going to have to beat if you're the Chargers. So,
Yeah.
all right. Last game for you, Ben. Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. That is our Sunday night game. These two teams don't like each other.
Speaking of leaving the past in the past, New York Giants, you guys had a really fun run last year. It was exciting, wasn't it? But at some point, Giants fans, didn't you stop and ask yourself, hey, this seems like extremely lucky. Like this is not supposed to happen. Let me tell you what, if you thought that, you were correct, and this year is going to be the world correcting itself. The Cowboys are just going to absolutely blow up this Giants team, man. Defensively just absolutely dominating. I think there's going to be 2 picks. Danny Dimes going to be having a hard time out there. You know what I'm saying? I like the Cowboys to cover 3 points here. I could see it being a 3-point game, but I see Cowboys winning by 7.
I mean, the Giants did add Darren Waller, but they also tried to dick around with their running back all year long or all off season. And Saquon was the reason they were good last year. Yeah, no, I don't. I've got the Commanders finishing ahead of them in the standings, so I think the Giants sink back into last place. Cowboys will easily win.
I'm not as low on the Cowboys as others are. I don't think that they're a playoff worthy team, but I don't know if last place is really just like a decided answer right now. I think Dallas beats them. I love the -3. All for it. But I think they have been putting in real effort to change that team, and they were okay last year. They won a playoff game, and maybe we see a similar. I don't see much improvement, but I think they sink down. But I don't think they sink down tremendously to the point where they're in Broncos country. you know,
What do we do
Now,
to deserve these strays? What?
you went
all
5 and
three of
11. What do you want me to say? Like,
all three of us picked the
congrats.
Broncos to make the playoffs this year. We are in unanimity that the Broncos are a playoff.
I'm talking
team.
about last year.
Okay, I thought we were moving on.
We're
I thought
still
Broncos
catching
the
country
last, the
2022.
past was the past. The future is
this guy.
unknown and weird.
Today
and
is a gift.
today is a gift. Yes.
Whatever
'Cause we get to
fortune
talk
cookie
about
you think
football.
this guy got.
Dallas Cowboys. It is. All right. Thank you, Ben. Now it is my turn with my 5 games,
Yeah, Kyle.
and
Woo.
I am starting off with the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. We were waxing on about the Ravens to begin the game or begin our show here. We were talking about Lamar Jackson as an MVP candidate, Zay Flowers as a Rookie of the Year candidate, Todd Monken, the new offensive coordinator. J.K. Dobbins is back and healthy. What's not to love about this Baltimore Ravens team? This point spread is not big enough. I think the Ravens win this game. This is going to be the blowout of the week. The Ravens are going to win this game by 17 to 24 points. They're going to crush the Houston Texans.
I mean, I am totally with you on that. It's week 1, and you know what week 1 means? That means a fully healthy Baltimore Ravens roster. And what a fully healthy Baltimore Ravens roster does is beat teams that are worse than them by a lot. And who is Houston? Houston is worse by a lot. So, yeah, Baltimore all the way here.
I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to buy 3 more points. I'm going to take them at -12.5. Throw that into a parlay and watch the money come in. That seems like a printer.
All right, Ravens across the board. All right, Minnesota Vikings last year were like 11-0 in one-score games. There's just no way that can keep up. Nobody gets that lucky 2 years in a row. Lucky for them, however, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are paying the price for going all in and winning the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. They now have Baker Mayfield as their starting quarterback. You still got Justin Jefferson. You've got Kirk Cousins and Jordan Addison, the rookie there, filling in for Adam Thielen, who's gone. Vikings are going to take a step back this year. They're not going to win nearly as many games as they did last year, but they're going to win this game easily because the Bucs are awful.
All I'm going to say is, as much as I am 100% with the Vikings pick, the Baker Mayfield disrespect seems a tiny bit, just a little tiny morsel of a bit of uncalled for, just because, like, yeah, he's bounced around. He hasn't been consistent.
He's on his 4th team in like
what?
a year and a half.
However, with the Rams, just hear me out here. He had his 2nd highest completion percentage of all time. I know it was just in a few games. 64% completion percentage, 850 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's not bad. I think that he can be successful, especially with the Bucs having good receiving weapons. And they have a decent offensive line. I'm not saying that they're gonna be good. I think they're gonna suck. But I think Baker Mayfield might surprise people in his ability just a tiny little bit.
He had one good comeback drive against the Raiders, and everybody went gaga because he marched him down the field against the Raiders. The first 57 minutes of that game, he was hot garbage. And no, the Bucs. The Bucs are gonna. The Bucs are gonna be 4. The Bucs are gonna be 4-13 this year.
Watch out for a crow.
Hey, let me drop a quarterback take that I think we can all agree on. The fact that this game is in Minneapolis, the Twin Cities. This game is at that 1 Eastern time slot, the early time slot. There's how many games going on? We know who's going to show up. Kirk Cousins, baby, and he's going to make us all think that he's great and amazing, but then we're going to be like 5 weeks down the road and go, you know what? That was just the Bucks, and it was just because it was at noon, huh? I like the Vikings to cover 5.5 on this one.
This is like Alabama playing like Middle Tennessee in their opening cupcake game. It's just sad. But Kirk 1 p.m. Cousins is gonna go absolutely insane.
Hey, I was always kind of like Kirk Cousins. I really like the dude after watching quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, we
Dude,
love him.
quarterbacks wins you over, right?
Yeah, I'm a Kirk Cousins fan now. I'm not going to go necessarily buy a jersey, but man, I like the guy. I want to see him do well.
You
I
like
like
that?
that.
I like him. I
like
like
that.
him
You
way
like
better
that?
than Baker. Yeah, I like him way better than Baker Mayfield. Anyway, all right, moving on. The Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. So a lot of people all over the Bears. I mean, let's remember the Bears finished with the worst record in football last year. They're not a good football team. Tons of holes. The Green Bay Packers, yeah. I know it's Jordan Love era. Now we're after two Hall of Famers, we've come to Jordan Love. He's the new quarterback. He's the new QB1 in Green Bay. Look, Brian Gutekunst wouldn't have made this decision, wouldn't have let Aaron Rodgers just walk out the door the way he did if they did not see good things from Love. The word in camp is that Love really, really does understand this offense. He knows it well. And, Romeo Dobbs, he's got some good players there. He's got some guys to throw to that are good young core. No, I don't think the Packers are going to be very good this year, but I'm not convinced the Bears are going to be very good either. The Packers own the Bears. What is like 22-3 in the last 25 games the Packers have won. The Green Bay Packers beating the Chicago Bears is just what happens in football. And I could absolutely see the Packers winning this game. Maybe the Bears get there, but DJ Chark doesn't make me all of a sudden a believer in the Bears. So that's all.
Yeah, this is probably. It's +1 for a reason. This is one of the tougher picks, just because of all of the uncertainty. Like, we don't know whether Jordan Love. There's an air of mystery on Jordan Love being a good to great quarterback or being awful. I mean, there's all the hype, but it's hype, right? We haven't seen it come to fruition, and we haven't seen Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers since Aaron Rodgers took over. And I'm I'm with you on Green Bay winning this game. Uh, just not, but I think it'll be probably a 3-point game. I think Green Bay will take it. I do feel like it will be a low scoring affair. If there's an under to take on this game, I recommend that be taken. But yeah, I guess Green Bay +1 does seem like the pick here, but I'm more indifferent on the matter.
About every 4 or 5 years or so, the Bears come out of nowhere and they give you a season to believe just for their kicker to screw it up at the last second. Now, my friends, I'm not sure if that truly is this year, but the Bears faithful do. Living here in this city, let me tell you what, they are psyched and they believe this is not just the team, but the quarterback of destiny. They will be doing shirtless Malort shots in the parking lot, and the old style will be a flowing in Soldier Field. I think it will be the most lively that stadium's been since the great Mitchell Trubisky and Cody Parkey took the field. Listen, they think that this is their team against Jordan Love, who I'm not necessarily convinced that he doesn't stink more than the cheese that's on the head of his fans. Let me tell you what, man. I think the Bears could pull this one out. I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think it's going to be an exciting one, even though it's going to be close. But it could be a football game. And I'm going to go with the Bears here just so my apartment neighbors don't try and break down the door and kill me. Take the Bears to win by at least 1 point.
Well, the last time the Bears beat the Packers, it was Mitchell Trubisky out dueling Aaron Rodgers. So who knows? Crazy things have happened in this series. All right. It is Tom Brady Day in New England. Doesn't matter though. The Philadelphia Eagles are a very good team, and will Mac Jones be better because of Bill O'Brien as his new OC? I don't know. Bill Belichick is still a great coach, and the Patriots will be competitive throughout the season. But the Eagles really were, they were 3 points away from being Super Bowl champions. Jalen Hurts would have been the Super Bowl MVP. This team has a score to settle. I don't think they're going to have the losing the Super Bowl hangover. I think that they're going to start off this year hard and fast, and I think that they're going to win in New England. And Tom may get a little booze when he shows up, and then the team itself will get bigger booze by the end of the game because the Eagles will win this game.
Yeah, Eagles winning by far, -3.5, easiest pick probably in this video, I would think, or audio for the listeners. But I do believe that Mac Jones will improve this season, and I think that he might flourish a little bit against the Eagles. And it's not necessarily about his ability being better. It's more about the trust that Bill O'Brien is putting in Mac Jones. I don't know if you guys have seen the reports on the matter, but Mac Jones was not able to make checks on the line. He was not able to change plays. Whatever he was told to do, he had to do. But now, he is a smart quarterback. I mean, he played in the Nick Saban system, and Bill O'Brien is giving him the reins. He is letting him make audibles on the line. He is allowed to change plays, make decisions. And I feel like that trust in Mac Jones is not only going to make the team play better because of Mac Jones' intelligence, but I think it's going to bring Mac Jones' confidence up. And I think confidence is one of the most important factors in playing well. Feel good, play good. And that's what I think we're going to see out of Mac Jones, but it's not going to be enough to beat the Eagles. And -3.5, easy take.
I like the Eagles -3.5. I'd take them by a touchdown. Yeah, I like Tommy said. I think this is a pretty easy one. Mac Jones, I do think that he'll improve, but I don't not enough that we'll be talking about it at the end of the year. You know what I mean? So that's my take on this Patriots team.
All right, last game of the weekend is that Monday night game, the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. This is going to be as loud of a Jets crowd as well since Mark Sanchez won that playoff game as a rookie first rounder. MetLife is going to be crazy. Jets fans have been waiting for this for almost all their lives. They've got an actual star at quarterback. They've got a star of defense. I mean, from the front to the back, they've got great players. Sauce Gardner, the best cornerback in football. Quentin Williams, my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. Robert Saleh giving out every speed. They're the Eagles, and everybody else is a crow pecking at him. He's got the whole bird oligarchy going on. The allegory going on there, and everybody's ready for this Jets game. And I think, the Jets played the Bills. The Jets beat the Bills last year with Zach Wilson at quarterback. They can certainly beat him with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Breece Hall is healthy. You got Dalvin Cook now. Another season of Garrett Wilson. There's a lot to like about this Jets team, and I think here in Week 1, because of everything that's going on, there's just the stars have aligned. I just cannot see them losing this home opener. Aaron Rodgers absolutely must get this win. He understands how big of a game this is to beat the division champions at home. To start off the season, now that he's in New York, take it to the bank. Jets are going to cover the spread, win this game outright.
I have nothing to add to that.
Hey man, I love this Jets team. I think that one thing to note too is just this defense is insane. It's arguably one of the best ones in the league. And really, they're not getting talked about as much as they should be just because of that addition at quarterback. It is really setting these the casuals up to kind of be like, whoa, they got a defense. Dude, the Jets are a good team. They're going to be a great team this year. I think anyway. I like them winning.
And
this
Robert
game.
Saleh is a great defensive-minded coach as well.
Oh yeah.
He is.
They got
They
got it all.
The defense. They were a competitive team last year with Zach Wilson at quarterback. That's how good the defense was.
Yeah.
So All right, those are our 15 games. We are now going to move on to the our picks, our favorite, our top dog, and our easy money. And Tommy Burch was the champion of our game. He gets to pick first. So, Tommy, who is your favorite of the weekend?
I feel like my favorite is a bit of a softball and a meatball right down the middle. Seahawks over Rams minus what, 5.5?
Five and
Just
a half.
sweetness right there.
All right, you've got Seattle. Your top dog.
Top dog, I think I'm gonna have to go with Cleveland over the Bengals.
Cleveland Browns. I like it. All right. And easy money line. I've got money lines up here if you have any questions, but your money line pick of the weekend.
Well, I'm gonna go with Miami, but what I'm seeing here is plus 136. But what is it looking at for you?
I see plus 136 as well. You must be looking at DraftKings.
Yes, I am. But you could probably shop
All
that
right.
to plus 140.
Yeah, we'll give you plus 136 on that, but that's a solid return for a Miami Dolphins team that was a playoff team last year. All right, Ben, your favorite of the week.
My favorite of the week is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover 5.
Sweet.
All right, Jags. Okay, your top dog.
My top dog is going to be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be the Jets. I'm gonna take that 2.5 there.
All right, New York Jets getting 2.5. And your easy money line.
I'm just gonna double down on the Jets here at plus 120. I like that a lot. I don't know why I hit you with the Uncle Sam point there, but I did. So.
All right, my favorite is going to be the Baltimore Ravens.
That's good.
My top dog of the week is going to be the Green Bay Packers. And my money line pick of the week. Boy, there are not very many teams worthy at all.
You do get the last pick.
Yeah, exactly. You guys go for all the good ones. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 105.
Oh, that's nice. It's like, you sure you don't want Washington at minus 310?
What's the
Yeah.
let me see what the Ravens are at right now.
Oh, it's got to be ridiculous. It's
Minus
plus,
500.
it's minus 500. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, I'll throw $10 down so I can win a nickel.
Gotta spend money to make money.
All right, gentlemen. Week 1 show in the books. We have our picks. Everybody, we really appreciate you tuning in either on our YouTube channel, which we always appreciate because you get to see our smiling faces. But of course, you can also listen to us on Apple, on Spotify, or many other of your podcast players of choice. We are going to be doing this every single week, all year long, giving you our picks for all of the football games that are taking place. 272 regular season games. There'll be 13 more games in the postseason. That is 285 football games over the next 158 days. How wonderful is that? All right. Yes, I am super pumped up for this. On behalf of Ben O'Connell in Chicago, Illinois, Tommy Burch in Springfield, Massachusetts. I always forget why. No, I knew you were in Mass. I was trying to remember the name of the town. I was trying to remember the name of the town.
It's got a lot going on.
It's okay, Kyle. I understand. I know you still love me.
It's okay. I was in the car for 8 hours today. And I think I forgot to introduce us at the beginning of this show, so it's a good thing we're doing it now. And I'm Kyle Garlett in Denver, Colorado. We appreciate all of you. We will see you again as we are going to roll out the end of this show, give you a little bit of football in America.
No more kissing babies. It's football season. Yeah.
Fast set, get your rush, get your hands off, rip.
Get there, coach. Hit. Like the 3-point stance, stay low, that's good. Good. Get that shoulder in there, buddy. Get that shoulder in. You still up. Let's go, you two were slow. Indians all set. Hit. Where's your Jason on it?
Discipline, tight. Let's go. Get around, finish.